Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. So I know this is probably going to be the last live, but I had to bring it to you guys as y'all seen on the thumbnail. I know Tony Busby was going to end the year with a blast. He came through, he has filed a response to Jay-Z and his attorney today. And I was just really trying to figure out how he was going to respond to the letter, to kind of give you guys a little, not a synopsis, but a summary. So, Alex Spiro ended up filing a letter yesterday, just kind of stating three things in order to get this case dismissed. One, they were talking about the gender, what was it? Hold on, let me see what it's called. The gender motivated. There we go. The Gender Motivated Violence Act, Protection Act. He was trying to say that the case doesn't qualify under that because the incident happened 3 months prior to the I guess not activation, but the start of that particular act. Then he said that the incident didn't occur in the jurisdiction of New York City. And then he also talked about how it does not apply to the Child Victims Act because of the statute of limitations and all that other stuff. So he is really trying to move for this case to be dismissed. And then guess what? My words to y'all, I wanted to see how Busby was going to respond to this. What people don't realize is that Busby is a New York licensed attorney. He does have his bar license in New York and his bar license in Texas. He also is admitted in the federal courts in Texas as well as the Eastern District in New York. All he has to do is just transfer over to the Southern District of New York, and that will take care of everything. And I'm pretty sure they've already done it because now he is obviously he's filing, and he already told us the situation about that. So let's hop on into exactly what he responded. Before I do that, what's up, SLA? Uh-oh, Jay-Z gonna be upset. He is starting off 2025 beautifully. I love it. Happy New Year, Sassy Cassie. Yes. Okay, so let's see what Busby's response to this, baby. Because I was waiting for it. All right. So I write on behalf of plaintiff Jane Doe in response to defendant Sean Carter's letter dated December 30th, 2024, pursuant to which defendant requests leave to file a motion pursuant to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12B 6, to dismiss plaintiff's first amended complaint. All right, now we're about to get into the nitty gritty. So, defendant states his intention to move for dismissal on the grounds that Doe cannot pursue her claim under the New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, the NYC Admin Code, Section 10-1101, because the GMVA does not have retroactive effect. However, neither the Second Circuit nor the New York Court of Appeals has endorsed this reading of the GMVA. In support of his argument, defendant cites a trial court order decided on an unopposed record, which is merely persuasive authority. He cited Lewis. Oh, this is what Alex Spiro cited in his motion, or his request for a motion to dismiss. All right. And then, now here's the thing. He said that neither the Second Circuit nor the New York Court of Appeals has endorsed this reading. So remember, these are higher courts. This is he mentioned in higher courts because they are in the second district. No, I said the Southern District of New York. This is not a trial court. This is a federal court. Whatchamacallit did, he cited a freaking trial court case. So that's not even really going to apply. Mm. Defendant's argument as to the GMVA is unpersuasive, as it is contrary to the law's primary intention To make it easier for victims of gender motivated violence to seek civil remedies in court, not, as defendant would have it, make it harder. New York City passed the GMVA in light of the void left by the Supreme Court's decision in United States versus Morrison. The NYC Admin Code, Section 8902, Morrison struck down the federal right to actions for victims of gender motivated violence under the Violence Against Women's Act, holding that Congress lacked authority under the Commerce Clause or the 14th Amendment to pass such remedy. The Supreme Court, however, urged local governments to provide a remedy to women like Morrison who had been brutally raped, as no civil system of justice could fail to provide her a remedy. New York City rallied to call and pass. So what they're saying is I guess the local courts didn't have any type of ruling when it comes to grape cases. And so the Supreme Court was urging local governments to come up with something so that these women, these victims, would be able to seek justice. All right. And that's why they ended up passing the GMVA. It goes on to say that the city council recognized that gender motivated violence is widespread throughout the United States and that 3 out of 4 women will be a victim of a violent crime sometime during their lives. NYC Admin Code, Section 8902. And then it says the council also concluded that victims of gender motivated violence frequently face a climate of condescension, indifference, and hostility in the court system. The council sought, therefore, to create a private right of actions for victims of gender motivated violence to resolve the difficulty that victims faced in seeking court remedies by providing an officially sanctioned and legitimate cause of action for seeking redress for injuries resulting from gender motivated violence. And that was NYC Admin Code Section 8902. It is fundamental that in interpreting a statute, the court should attempt to effectuate the intent of the legislator. I'm sorry. And then in Cadiz and Jones, this is what, oh, not and Jones, but Cadiz Jones, it states that holding based on statutory text and history that the GMVA was intended to apply retroactively. Because remember, but not Buzbee, but Spyro is trying to say that Jane Doe cannot make any claims because how can I say this? Because the incident happened September 2000 and the act did not come into effect on in December of 2000. But our boy, as always, cited a case showing that they actually applied the GMVA Act retroactively. So therefore, she can be covered under that act, even if it happened 3 months prior to that. The council intended the GMVA to make it easier for victims of gender motivated violence to seek court remedies, and it is intended the same when it's passed its 2022 amendment to the law. Let me see. And they cited city council hearing testimony, this was a testimony in support of the act's passage describing an essay that happened in 1993. There was also another hearing that stated in summary there is no timeline on processing trauma. Okay. Oh, let me go to this. I've been bad on that nested stomach, but the last one, starting to feel better. Talk about a gift that keeps on giving. Glad our girl did this live. Oh, you know what? Hey, I am so glad that you're feeling better, and I hope that you go into the new year, you know, kicking off, running, however you want to. But I'm glad that you're feeling better. Those stomach bugs is, they ain't it. They ain't it. So pretty much because the type of case this is and the timeline, there are several cases out there in which Busby has cited that says that there's no timeline on processing trauma. There are cases out there where the incident happened way in the past, several decades ago, and it still gives them an opportunity to seek remedy in this case. Oh, I knew our boy was gonna come through with some things. Similarly, defendant also intends to seek dismissal on the grounds that any viable GMA law claim is time barred under the New York Child's Victim Act. Because remember, they tried to bring up the Victims Act, which preempts plaintiff's GMV law claim. However, this court, so the same court that is hearing the Jane Doe case, they heard another case, and this was Doe versus Gooding, which found that local anti discrimination laws are generally not preempted by the state law in New York. Oh my gosh. 2022 U.S. District Lexus, let me see. Oh, that was the Southern District, New York. And they heard this case in 2022. Then they had Doe versus Black. And it says this court rejected the very same argument defendant makes here. So this court rejected the attorney, the defense attorney, and the defendant rejected their claims for a motion to dismiss based on this time bar. That's good. Finally, defendant intends to seek dismissal on the grounds that the conduct alleged in the first amended complaint could not have occurred in New York City. Based on plaintiff's description of the residence in question, combined with public records, confirms that any such residence was located outside of New York City. This is what the Spiro is saying. As defendant seeks to rely on evidence outside of the pleadings, which would transform a motion to dismiss to one for summary judgment. And as discovery is not yet underway, it is respectfully submitted that defendant's proposed motion is procedurally improper and should be denied. And some, like I said, that's why I always say Jay-Z is trying to get this case over with. However, it has to go through the litigation process, because even though you're saying, and they have to see, they have to rely on the evidence that they gain through discovery. If the judge dismisses this case now, they won't be able to confirm anything in her story, because as of right now, the alleged facts is based off of what she remembers. In order to do investigation, you have to request discovery, so documents. You have to do depositions. That was the whole reason. A lot of people don't realize the reason for the sit down before they even went to this particular this litigation case, before he even amended the complaint. We know that there are some inconsistencies with Jane Doe's case, but how can you properly investigate if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle? And then I'm saying, it says, in light of the foregoing, plaintiff respectfully requests that the court to deny defendant's request to file a motion. And that's it on that end. But to kind of sum it up in the lamest terms, is that they can still file under the Gender Motivated Protection Act. They could still file under the Child Victims Act, because there is a court rulings that show that they dismissed the other defendants' motions to dismiss, because they're trying to dismiss based on the timestamp, or I'm not the timestamp, the time barred. So all of this, I knew Tony Busby was going to come back. But the biggest thing that people need to realize, and I see it all up and down my timeline, is Jane Doe is not telling the truth. Jane Doe has inconsistencies. The only way we are going to determine whether or not she's, telling the truth is through discovery. And discovery consists of exchanging of information, sitting down with not just Jay-Z, but other people like Diddy and probably J-Lo, whoever was there. Like even the people that she mentioned, they still gonna have to come in and do a deposition. It doesn't matter if they say, well, we wasn't there. This is the time that we was there. That is fine. That's the whole reason why there is procedures in place for litigation. Yes, we filed the complaint with what we obtained during the intake process before litigation. But in order to support that, especially in this matter, she has to go through the litigation process. She has to go through discovery. So a lot of people don't realize that there's more to this in order to get to the actual truth. So while Jay-Z is sitting here trying to get rid of this case, because if he gets rid of it, we will never know. It's just based off of speculation. It will be in the back of our head. Well, did he ever really did he do it? Because y'all know the crazy part, and I haven't even covered his Jane Doe, not the Jane Doe, the John Doe, the lawsuit that Jay-Z filed as John Doe. That particular complaint clearly stated he messed with, hold up, y'all know what? Better yet, let me see. Where is it at? I'm gonna pull it up for y'all since we're here before I go take my child to go see the fireworks. Let's see, did he? Uh, I'm sorry, I'm silent. Let me going through my folders now. If y'all see my YouTube folder list of all these cases, it's massive. All right, Jay-Z Buzbee amended complaint. I'm gonna show y'all because this is only the tip of the iceberg. Let me go back to here. Oh, y'all see it right there. Let me go. I'm sure he, and yes, that's the whole man. Let me tell you, there's something that we use. I use Westlaw. Some firms have both, but I love Westlaw because you can, type in certain cases and you can read it and you can determine how the judge rule or how the court rules in those cases and you apply it. It's like when we write a paper and we have to have three, you have your intro, your body, and your conclusion, and your body has to have like three supporting, well, it just depends on type of the prompt, right? So if you're trying to support whatever it is that you're saying, you have to pick out reasons from the paragraph that you just read. That's what that is here. So just like Spyro, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Spyro, whoever. So just like he found cases to show, okay, this case needs to be dismissed because in this case that was heard back in this days, this happened. So same with Busby. So Busby found cases that show, okay, they didn't dismiss this case because it wasn't covered under the GMVA PA, but he actually found cases that showed that the court bypassed that and said, okay, it's retroactive. So that person can make a claim under that. And that person can make a claim under the Child Victims Act because it happened when they was a child. Because those two go together. But as far as the Spiral trying to dismiss the case because it happened on the outside of New York city limits, we don't know that for sure because they don't have the information. Once again, they only have what Jane Doe has brought to them. They don't have a statement from Jay-Z. They don't have a statement from any other witnesses. So they have to go through this stage that they're in right now. So this is the discovery phase. So as soon as Jay-Z answers to the amended complaint that was served on him on the 23rd, then they can go ahead and start requesting interrogatories, which is a list of questions that will help them gain information. And I'm pretty sure some of those interrogatories is going to be like, well, where were you on such and such and such? Let me turn off my nightlight. So to this incident, so that way they can gain the information they need. In addition to that, They're also going to request certain documents. So as for Diddy, they're going to be like, okay, where were you living at during this time? How many houses did you have? Produce any of those records. In which, yes, we can do that, but it's easier if the defendant provides us with all that information. Now, if they don't, we're going to see motion to compel. Like, okay, you have to, like, the court is making you provide us with these answers, these responses, or these documents, so that way the plaintiff can prepare for their litigation, for their trial, or probably mediation, or their case. That's the best word. Prepare for their case. But she can't do anything if she doesn't have anything. And it's not purposeful for her to have this case dismissed. Uh, I have to thank you publicly for researching the AK case a few days ago. Oh, you welcome, Maddie. Maddie, I was looking for you, girl. I was looking for you. It sounds like Buzbee is ready for everything. Hey, Buzbee said 2025, it's up. It's up. So I thought, I can be honest with y'all, I really thought that Spyro had up one. I really did. But then Busby always brings it back. See, I don't think Spyro knows that Busby is licensed in New York. I don't know. But yeah, you ain't gonna play with him though. I think there is more coming out on him as well. Wait, plus there was another person there. Yes, that's what I'm saying. We're going to see this complaint amended, but it's not going to be no time soon. Once they hit discovery, once they get all the responses back from interrogatories and the requested production, and they go through those and they do depositions, because in depositions they're under oath. So whatever questions is being asked, they have to be mindful that they have to be truthful. It's just like if you are on the stand in trial. I have actually had to, I'm a notary as well. So I can like, if people do depositions, I can be there to swear them in. But they have to be mindful that they cannot tell lies. So once they get those depositions out the way, and then they get the deposition transcripts, what we do is, and when I say we, because us paralegals have to go through probably 100 pages worth of transcripts, and because of this case, they probably gonna need like the whole firm to come together and do that, because you're gonna have to go through those depo transcripts and mark through important facts or important things that were said that can you know help put the pieces of the puzzles together. Then once they gather all that information and they connect the dots, then they can go ahead and say, okay, these are the people who was there. If it's not the right year, at least they can determine, the correct year. They can determine what residence it actually took place at. They'll have more information. Then they will be able to move on with the case. And that's the good thing about that. So I know people like they rooting for Jay-Z, like, yeah, this needs to go, this needs to go away, but everybody deserves due process. Everybody deserves to have their case brought before the court and go through the process. Because that's not fair to her. Whether you believe her or not, it is not fair for her for this case to be dismissed. And I understand what other people are saying. It's not fair for Jay-Z to go through this process. And that is very well. But if somebody comes to you and say that this happened to them, you have to take action and you have to allow them to go through the process, because it's going to come out. It's going to come out during the pretrial phase, whether or not she's lying. But at least give her the opportunity to go through this process to get everything. Because y'all are going to be shocked when something is recovered and you be like, dang, we should have believed her the first time. Exactly. Same thing people did with Cassie. They didn't believe her. They said it was a money grab when she filed her suit. Look what happened. Diddy dragged her all the way down the hall. And you can't say there's there is no way to clean that up. You are pulling her by her hair down a hallway. There, you can't clean that up. And some people actually apologized. They was like, dang. So that from that day on, I was like, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna observe. I'm not gonna give my opinion up, just right then and there, because you don't know what will come out. So I pulled up this case. Wait, hold up. All right. So the initial case said John Doe, but the court said, go ahead. It's already out. The cat out the bag. Go ahead and amend this complaint and go ahead and put his name on it. And so now you see Sean Carter. But what I wanted to show y'all, and this is okay. So this is Jay-Z. Hold up. What did it say? What did it say? What did it say about Jay-Z? All right. So this is the lawsuit Jay-Z against Busby, right? And so this is what was said in the demand letter. So it says a few weeks later on November 5th, 2024, defendants sent written demands to Mr. Carter containing false allegations of vile conduct by Mr. Carter, and they called them the extortion demands. The demands falsely alleged that Mr. Carter graped a male and a female minor who had been drugged at parties. Allegations that Mr. Carter learned of for the first time through these demands and which have no basis in fact. I'm going to stop y'all there. Yes, they are alleged, but the only way to prove that is to go through the litigation phase. Yes, she does. This male and minor, they don't have y'all have to realize they were minors back in those days. Who still has any of their items from when they were 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16? Who? It probably 1 out of 10 people have their possessions from when they were a teenager. Okay? So if they're coming to you, hey Babs, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So if they walk into the law firm and they say, I was raped or essayed at the age of 13 and they're 40 years old, what evidence do you think they are going to have at that age? They have gone to school, possibly college, they have worked, they have moved, um, everything in between. Okay? So what we do is we know that we're going to have to go through the discovery phase, but we file suit. Well, I'll stop y'all there. We send a demand letter. A demand letter is a common thing. A lot of people don't realize that because y'all don't work in the field. And that's the best thing I can say. Demand letters are common, especially when we are dealing with catastrophic injury or personal injury matters. Okay. I don't care if I'm doing car wrecks, slip and falls, workers' comp, uh, essays, ride share, that's Uber and all that other stuff. We send a demand letter prior to filing a lawsuit. In that demand letter, majority of them, yes, we are. And especially if we're sending it to an insurance company, we are demanding payment. Here are the facts of the case. Here is the client's injuries. Here is the amount that we're demanding. In this particular, when you're dealing with essay cases, it's a little bit different. It's like, okay, let's go ahead. Here's what our client brought to us. We would like to discuss these things with you because during that mediation, what they do is they discuss everything. They get the information they need. Now, in the event if Jay-Z would have done that and said, yeah, this happened, blase, 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 they'll be like, okay, here's her injuries, and they'll work out some type of settlement. That's usually how that works. But it was more than that. They wanted information because, mind you guys, this case is not just about Jay-Z. It also includes another celebrity, Sean Combs, and other people. So this is more of gaining information so they can name the other people in the litigation. It's not about getting the money. Now, of course, the defense counsel is going to make it seem that way. But the fact of the matter is, this male and this female, who is now grown, claimed or alleged that they've been rugged at parties and something happened to them. Period. The only way that they will be able to prove that, to prove those allegations, because obviously the plaintiffs don't have all of that information, they have to depend on what is given by the defense counsel during discovery process. What else it says? Viewed in the context of Buzbee's prior statements threatening to file criminal complaints against and publicly shame a long list of celebrities, the message in the extortion demands was clear: pay up or face a criminal investigation and extraordinary reputational harm. I think they're probably exaggerating, but that's normally what happens. If you don't want to have this meeting, if you don't want to sit down and talk, then I have, in order to make you talk, then I'm going to add your name to this lawsuit, or I'm going to file this lawsuit. That's normally what we put in demand letters. This is not nothing out of the ordinary. There are several times where like insurance companies or other entities say, well, we deny liability. What do? I go ahead and I type up that little pleading, that petition, go ahead and file it and pay the filing fee. All right, you don't want to pay? We'll see if this is going to make you pay. That is true. They're going to take him down with Diddy. Oh, yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff is going to, and I'm pretty sure this is not, now probably these SA allegations is probably Jay-Z's first rodeo, but I don't think litigation is his first rodeo. He knows how this stuff plays out. He knows how this stuff plays out. So he's trying to nip it in the bud. Stop fighting. And I get it. Everybody's gonna have to fight for their innocence. I get it. I get it. But you have to look at all parties. Although it is causing reputable harm to Jay-Z and what he has going, that, I mean, that's just something that happens, unfortunately. But you do have a person who is a victim, who knows, who has came out and said that there's inconsistencies. I know that there's inconsistencies in my story, but she also let us know that she is autistic and that she suffered from a lot of stuff. Hell, I don't even remember half the shit I did when I was 12 or 13. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I do remember the bad things. Bad things stick with you. I want everybody to take a moment and think about the bad thing. Well, not, don't think about it, but if something happened to you as a teenager or as a child, it sticks out with you. SA, for me, it happened. I remember that. I was in a bad accident. I remember when I was in high school, got hit by 18-wheeler. I remember that. I do remember some exciting stuff. Like, I was the first black female to do cross country at my high school and go to regionals for the first time. First black female and first female. I remember those times. So we can't sit up here and say that, she's lying. She just does not have all the facts, especially if you was rugged. You have to take that into consideration too. Think about all the drunk nights people done had driving home. Don't even know how you got home. it's going to be a little fuzzy until somebody tells you, oh, child, you was drunk. You did this, this, and this. You be like, I did? We have to take that in consideration. So let her be able to go through this process to get all of the facts. So if it didn't happen in 2000, maybe it did happen in 2003. We won't know until we get to the discovery phase. That's it. He responded too quick. He trying to lean us away from what happened with the victim. And that is all that is. That's why they always put a disclaimer up, just like with Diddy when he settled less than 24 hours. A payment is not, his way of saying that he's guilty. I knew it because I see it every day in this field. I know it. I knew it from the time they said they paid her, and I listened to everybody. Oh, it was a money grab. She just wanted the money. Well, what else could she have done? The statute of limitations was gone. She could not file criminal charges on the man. So the only way you can get relief is through a civil suit. That's what a lot of people don't realize. I swear it needs to be mandatory that all adults take a government and understand the laws, because a criminal litigation is not the same as a civil litigation. There is a statute of limitations in some states. So Cassie can't go, she could go to the police and say this happened, but what can they do? The statute of limitations for criminal charges is out the window. So the next best thing to do is civil. Hey, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see. Is it Malin? Baby, you gonna have to I'm like, Malinas. And if I butchered your name, I'm sorry, but thank you for subscribing. Right. Oh yeah, Babs, I know you be on it. You be on it, Babs. You definitely be on it. But yeah, so what y'all boy Alex Spiro tried to do, he tried to get the case dismissed, saying that she could not make claims under the Gender Motivated uh, Violence Protection Act or the Child Victim Act, saying that it was time barred, saying that the GMVA was enacted in December of 2000, but the incident happened in September of 2000, and that the statute of limitations for her to file under the CVA, the Child Victims Act, was time barred. And Busby came back and said, no, 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 no. Here is a case. I cited the case, and they didn't even consider the time bar. They didn't consider any of that. You know why? Because of the nature of the case. Right there in the Southern District of New York, Busby found a case where the judge says, okay, this is the type of case that we have. We're going to go ahead and proceed, because the only way we're going to figure out any of this is if we go ahead and go through discovery. I need to look at all these cases though. The purpose of the GMA, I said GMA, GMVA, is to give women who were brutally victimized, raped, rugged, give them an opportunity to seek justice. It is not an act to make it difficult for people not to get justice. That's why when the Adult Survivors Act that Cassie filed under, once that expired in 2023, that's why a lot of people started using or filing under this type of claim, the GMVA claim, which is good. And I'm glad Busby pointed that out. And I like the way that he constructed this letter, because, like it says, it should not be difficult for victims to come out. Because here's the thing. if they were very, very strict about the time frame in which victims need to come forth and file these claims, if it was difficult, nobody would even bother coming forward. And that's not what they wanted. The Supreme Court urged, it says right here, it urged the local governments to provide something for victims to go seek justice. That was the purpose. The purpose wasn't to turn people away. That's what Busby is trying to get everybody to understand. So while defense counsel Alex is trying to deter people from stepping forward and filing claims against their accusers, Busby is saying that is not the purpose of this act. This act is to bring justice. Period. So good try, Alex. I did think that you was up one. I really did. But it looks like Busby got you. It looks like Busby got you. So all of this saying that it's false claims, false claims, false claims, we won't know until we get to the discovery phase. And what comes out comes out. Jay-Z fans, I'm sorry, but she is entitled to go through this litigation process. She is entitled to find out more information during the discovery phase. So it sucks to be you. It really does suck. It does, because he has a family. He also has kids. But we also have to make sure that we think about the victim. So, because people running out here is like, okay, Jay-Z's the one who's the victim. He shouldn't be. This man is a millionaire or a billionaire, probably. I don't know. He's up there. He got a lot of money. This victim doesn't. This victim has to think about, first of all, this has brought up everything. She has to relive this every single day until she gets justice, if and when she gets justice. Trying to dismiss this case. I'm in Jane Doe's corner. I mean, people can say what they want to say. They can call me biased at this point. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, if somebody came forth, walked in our office, and said, I have been a victim of this, we're going to stand 10 toes down for her. Now, if it comes out that, it was a lie, then that's what it's going to be at that time. But as of right now, we don't have all of the information. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Right now, all we have is what she brought to us. That's it. So I would say, I don't know how long their discovery phase is going to be. I have to look to see for the scheduling order, and I think they will put that scheduling order in place come January, when they do have to convene. I mean, they have to meet, and then they'll have deadlines to say, okay, discovery is going to be for 75 days, or I don't know. In this case, I don't know. Discovery going to be a couple of months, because they got a lot of people that they're going to have to depose, a lot of witnesses, a lot of Diddy, Jay-Z. I'm sure J-Lo going to have to be there. um yeah, whatever comes out comes out, and they just going to have to build off of that. That's all. But thank y'all for tuning in. It's 9:24. I'm about to go drive around and see some fireworks. So this is my last video, my last live for 2024. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. What'd you say, Babs? If he finds her, she will disappear because they play dirty. And that's exactly why the court allowed them to continue under the pseudonym Jane Doe. Because I do feel that if her identity is known, just like Jay-Z's paying those investigators and all them other people to go after Busby, the clients, the employees, their families, and all that, I have no doubt in my mind that he would do this, wouldn't do the same to this lady. I really do. But yeah, so thank y'all for tuning in. Definitely thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know y'all comments. I'm always up for a good challenge in the comments when it comes to these type of cases. Definitely leave your comments below. To the replay gang, what's up? Happy New Year. I wish everybody a prosperous, blessed, happy, motivated, top notch, it's only up from here. It's only up from here, y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, share it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until then, you all be blessed. A good night. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you, Baps. I love y'all. I love y'all. See y'all in 2025. Bye.